Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another How to Tie Fishing Knots. In this series, today's knot is the double jig setup, probably one of my favorite when you're vertically jigging. Allows you to present multiple baits, different colors at different depth levels. It's a pretty simple knot. It's just 2 loop knots. That's all it is. So let me just walk you through how I tie that on. I'm going to tie them about 6 to 8 inches apart. Then I'm going to set up on some brush piles and kind of vertically jig these, or maybe flip these out away from the boat. I do not recommend casting these. I've done it in the past. The problems I run into is one of the jigs will actually get caught in the loop of the second jig, so I don't recommend it. Also, keep in mind when you're tying these on, or when you're choosing your jig head, the lighter jig goes on top, heavier jig goes on bottom, or if they're the same weight, that's fine too. The problem is if you put the heavier jig on top, that one might fall faster. So I'm going to show you how to tie that up real quick, and then we're going to hook up some Euro Tackle. These are the B-Vibe Euro Tackle lures. This is the Fire Tiger pattern, and I'm also going to throw on a Black and Chartreuse pattern as well over some brush piles right behind me here, so let's do it. Alright, so to tie on the double jig setup, or the double jig crappie rig, it's very simple. It's just going to be 2 loop knots on both jigs. Now, like I said before, or if I haven't said it already, make sure they're either the same weights, or make sure the lower jig, or the jig lower down on the line, is heavier than the top jig. This will help prevent any tangles. Alright, so let's get started tying these on. So these are both 1/16 ounce jig heads. First thing you're going to do is you're going to put the first one on, sliding it up the line. Doesn't matter how far. And then you're going to take the second one, and we're going to tie our first loop knot. So you're going to put the line through the eyelet, pull out about 4 to 5 inches of line. So it's going to look like that. And now you're going to pinch the tag end and the main line with, this is going to be my left hand, and then you're going to pinch both lines with your other hand, and your jig is going to hang down. See how it's about 1.5 to 2 inches. If you want a longer loop, raise it up a little bit and let that jig hang down. See, that's about 3 inches of hang from where I'm going to start to wrap the knot. Then all you're going to do is you're going to flip the jig around where the line you got pinched here 3, 4, 5 times, and then you got a loop formed in my right hand. And then I'm going to take the jig, slide the hook through that loop. That loop's going to go all the way over the jig head. And I'm going to grab the tag end of the line and the main line. I'm going to slowly pull tight. At this point, you're going to want to wet the knot. And then slowly pull tight. And that is loop knot number 1. And that is loop knot number 1. Now we got our other jig here that we slid up the line. The trick is to pinch the line off where you actually want the knot to be. So I got about 1 foot between the jigs right here. I think that's good. I'm going to fold the line over right here. Slide my fingers down with both lines pinched, and then I'm going to grab closer to the jig head, see how it's hanging down, and I'm going to flip it over this pinched line 3 or 4 or 5 times. And there we go, it's folded over, and there we go, we got our jig head flipped over. So now we got our loop formed. We're going to take the jig head, put that hook all the way through the loop, and then the loop all the way over the top of the jig head. And slowly pull the jig head while you're pinching both the main line and the tag line. You probably want to wet this knot as well. And there you go. You got your 2 loop knots. Double jig setup. Alright, let's get on the water and show you how this thing works. Alright, so here's the double jig setup. I have a Chartreuse they're both 1/16 ounce jig heads, Chartreuse on the bottom. Got the black and green B-Vibe on the bottom, and then the pink and Chartreuse. That got slipped down. Make sure you get it all the way over that barb. pink and chartreuse jig on the top with the fire tiger pattern. So I got a bunch of different brush piles. I'm just going to kind of flip this out in front because I know there's 2 separate brush piles between me. And these fall pretty quick. Obviously, you got an 1/8 ounce worth of jigs on there, or weight of jigs on there. So you don't need to let it fall too much. There he is. Oh, I think I'm doubled up already. Or nope, that's just a big crappie. There we go, double jig setup, got it done right off the bat. That's a big fish, wow. Look at that guy. Thought I had 2 on, nope, just a solid fish. Let's see what he is. He's just shy of 12, there we go. See if there's more down there. Ooh. Fire Tiger B-Vibe got it done. Wow. So I'm just gonna flip it out, same spot. Hopefully there's a big school of those guys. Ah, it feels good to catch some 12-inch northern Wisconsin crappie. It really does. All I'm doing is just letting this thing pendulum back to the boat. Because there's 2 brush piles. I'm trying to split them. Right now these crappie, some of the crappie are sitting right on the brush pile, some of them are really suspended and kind of chasing bait fish. That guy, I don't know where he was. You can always pop it back to the boat. You just barely lifting your rod tip about 6 inches to a foot, kind of let him fall and then slowly reeling in that slack. Get on top of the brush piles, and if you can get some fish that are just holding on those brush piles, you can just vertically jig it. See if those fish kind of chase it up the water column. Ooh. There he is. 2 of them. Felt like a big one, but I just got 2. This is the beauty of those double rig setups. You can double up just like that. They're not big fish though, unfortunately. They're not that 12-incher that we were looking for. You can go back. And you can go back. See you, buddy. There he is. I think I'm doubled up again. I think I was doubled up for a while there. This isn't, I mean, that's probably a 10.5 inch fish. I'm gonna put him on the measuring tape, but it's not the 12 we were looking for. Not the big mama. They're liking this Fire Tiger and pink pattern though. And again, I'm just flipping it out over that brush pile. And kind of letting it pendulum back towards the boat. Oh, let me see what this guy is. Yeah, he's another 10-incher. But I'm gonna let this guy go. Oh no, I'm stuck in the brush pile. I let it go too deep. So one thing about, hopefully, oh, I have a fish on. Not a big one though. I bet he ran with it into that brush pile. I bet that's what he did. And let it drop for about 3.5 seconds. And I gotta start reeling, otherwise it's gonna catch that brush pile, I think. Do I still have a fish? What am I doing here? Yep, I still do. Dang. These are the dinks. Where's the big girl at? It's amazing. I literally casted in the same spot I caught that big fish, and then I just caught a 4-inch one 3 fish later. It just shows how nomadic some of these crappie are right now, midsummer, just chasing bait fish. That school of big ones could be halfway across the lake by now, but hopefully they're still around here, you'd think. There's a ton of brush piles. Oh, there's fish. The double jig setup does it. See ya, buddy. Easy release. Small guy, easy release. This is why it's my favorite setup. I can fish 2 different style baits, or 2 different color baits, 2 different depths. Really don't need to fish that different depths, but it's only 6, 7, 8 inches apart. But when you get into the school, man, do they like it. And they're hitting, that one was the bottom jig, but the bigger ones have come on the top jig. Oh, there he is. There they are. Come on. Somebody hit it. There he is. I think I'm doubled up. Nope. Those are not the fish I want. That seems to be the active brush pile. 3 different kind of schools have been there. There's some 10-inch fish. There's that big one. I've caught a bunch of tiny ones. So for whatever reason, that brush pile is the active one. I have no idea why. I think these are all dropped in the same year, so curious, what do you think? Why would that be the active brush pile? There's like 15 of them off this point. I mean, relatively same amount, relatively in the same depth of water. I mean, 20, 22 feet. Oh, and that would be the brush pile. Got that one. There we go, popped it loose. Oh, wow, right on the drop. Is that 1? Is that 2? Yeah, it feels like a tiny one. What it feels like. I don't even know how many fish that is. Double jig flick. Oh, I just broke my own rule. Casted it. I have a reason, I know why they're on this end of the lake. The wind is all pushing all the bait fish towards this side. I'm on the south end of the lake, wind's out of the north right now. There they are. There's a fish. And that is why the double jig rig is effective. That's going to wrap it up on this video. Oh, came flying off. See, now we're back to dinks. Where's the big mamas at? So as you can see, the double jig rig is very effective, both in catching numbers and catching some big fish. That was about 11 and a half, 11 3/4, just shy of 12. But yeah, it's a fairly simple setup because it's only 2 loop knots. So there's my one jig, and jig number 2 flying through the frame right now. Very simple to use. Try it out. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. If you got any comments or questions that I didn't get to in the YouTube and it's like urgent, go ahead, follow me on Facebook or Instagram and message me on those. I get back to those really quick, those messages super fast. Appreciate you watching. If you're new here, click that subscribe button, click the bell. Hope you try out this knot. Again, let me know how it goes for you. We'll see you next time.